7. Barrett outside, the switch. Doncic goes, oh, what a great step! And then he hammers it home! Broke his ankles!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are doing well as the New York Knicks just came out victorious on the road versus the Washington Wizards, the final score being 114-92. And we actually go on to win our 5th consecutive road game. And that was our first time winning our 5th consecutive road game in 8 or 9 years. We improved to 20-21 on the road, I believe. We won more road games or had a better record on the road compared to our home record. And you could say a lot of those wins were when the season was over down the stretch. Or, yeah, a majority of our wins is when we were completely out of the play-in, but it also shows the New York Knicks were competing and they weren't giving up down the stretch. We actually won more road games than we did last year. We know we were abysmal at home at the end of the day because I believe we have 35 wins, 36 wins right now, and for us to get 20 of those on the road, that just shows how bad we are at home, but it also shows how resilient we are on the road and just how mentally tough we are as an overall ball club. So the New York Knicks come out victorious in a blowout fashion. It looked ugly from the beginning, but I want to get into the draft thing because I really do understand the people that wanted us to lose these last 2 games to just really up that percentage of our draft positioning. We know we have terrible luck when it comes to the lottery, but I understand people that want to draft someone who's really talented, that brings more versatility to the offense, that can shot create and execute down the stretch. I understand people that want a Benedict Mathurin or Johnny Davis. They want a higher percent chance of getting that type of guy to put alongside an RJ Barrett who's still developing when it comes to shooting off the dribble on a consistent basis. But then you also take a look at it. If we lost this game, like at the best, we jump up to the 8th or 9th best odds, and I believe we were at the 10th entering this basketball game. And I know the worst case scenario, the Pelicans go on to lose, I believe, the next game, and then we drop to 12, but we just have such bad luck in the lottery. You never know what's going to go on to happen. But 8 or 9, like, does that make, like, yeah, it can make a difference. But again, you never know what happens in the draft. It's an absolute crapshoot. It wouldn't have made some huge difference, but you need luck in the lottery at the end of the day. We saw what happened to the Pelicans. We saw what happened to the Grizzlies. We just hope the New York Knicks get luck. We jump up. We use that pick as an asset if it's in like a big-time trade, or we go on to draft a talented player. So I do understand that. The season's over. The play-in's gone. The playoffs is over. These are meaningless games. I really do understand that. And I understand people that didn't want RJ to play, Obi to play, like these valuable players moving forward, like a Quickly, a Sims. I really do understand that the season is completely over. So what's really the point? And RJ Barrett goes on to sprain his knee in the first half. RJ Barrett made a really nice read, driving down the lane, looked to dump it off, which I believe executed into a basket or executed into something pretty beautiful. RJ Barrett hits the deck, and he holds onto his knee, and I'm like, holy shit, did he just tear his ACL? Eventually, he looked okay. Right now, though, the report is sprained knee. You never know what else it is. I hope he's okay, and it's nothing more than a sprained knee. Sprained knee still sucks, though. It's just Knicks luck. Last 2 games of the season, RJ Barrett goes on to get hurt. He was actually having a pretty solid first half. He had 14 points, I believe, in that first half of basketball. And he had to walk to the locker room. Thank God we did not bring him back into this basketball game. So that really sucked to see. And there was also that scare with Obi when he hurt his groin, but good thing he was okay and all that. Because groin injuries could be very nagging. But I hope RJ has a speedy recovery. I'm not going to say Tibbs made the right decision of playing him, made the wrong decision. I know I'm going to get a lot of bash no matter what, because a lot of people that were bashing Tibbs for playing RJ are the same people that wanted RJ to play to get his stats up and his efficiency up as well. But at the beginning of this basketball game, we were down 10-0 early. Raul Neto is literally like a Knicks owner. And I thought Denny Avdija played pretty solid basketball from the start. Like, I like some of their pieces, but they also sat like some solid pieces as well. The main guy, Kristaps Porzingis. A lot of people wanted Porzingis to have this master class. We lose, so we get a higher odds of a top draft pick. But after the Knicks playing pretty solid at the beginning of, or the Wizards playing pretty solid at the beginning of this game, they kind of fell apart when it came to discipline-wise. They turned the ball over a lot. I mean, a lot in this game. They actually ended up finishing with 21 turnovers, or at least that's the amount I counted when it came to the final few minutes, so maybe it is inaccurate. I'll put it on the screen. But we were struggling from the three-point line. Our defense was absolutely atrocious. It was really an ugly quarter of basketball. But eventually the Knicks started to really get engaged defensively. Eventually we started to move the ball a lot better. And Obi Toppin killed them in transition. I don't know if they read the scouting report. I don't know if they're trying to tank, unlike us. We just thrived with Obi Toppin leaking out, leaking out, leaking out. And Obi Toppin had a freaking terrific game. That's mostly what we're going to be talking about, the young guys. 35 points, but it was on extremely great efficiency. 35 points, 14 of 22 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3 in 38 minutes. 35 points on 22 shots is damn impressive. And to shoot 14 of 22, 6 of 9 from downtown. And I felt like we've all seen this touch from Obi. Obi Toppin has a fluid-looking jumper, but I feel like the huge thing is confidence with Obi. It's always been confidence. It's hard to get into a rhythm when you're out there 2 minutes. Like, it's hard to really get it's really hard to get warmed up in any type of way. Like, of even going to the basket, you feel restricted, you feel stiff, you're not playing your game. And Obi's a reactionary type of player. His game doesn't revolve around a lot of thinking. It's read and react. Or just, get out transition. But one play that I really loved from Obi Toppin, besides the three-pointers, besides the lob dunks, and by the way, quickly and Obi's just chemistry was freaking on point. We know it's always on point. But when Obi drove down the lane, adjusted in the air, had some finesse, beautiful touch around the basket, and I feel like the Knicks need more personnel that has great touch around the basket. I feel like we really do need that. But the crazy thing is, he had 35 points, and I thought he was utilized pretty well. You could say he's still in this box. You could say he's still not being utilized in the offense perfectly. I know there's no such thing as perfect in basketball. You're going to make mistakes. But for him to be in this bland type of offense, still managed to get 35 points, and what he was able to do from the three-point line, making 6 of 9. And yes, sometimes he could be too upright on defense. We saw him really get hurt in those situations. And also, you saw him only finish with 4 rebounds. He needs to get better in that department. He has shown he could have solid games rebounding the basketball. But he was just amazing. The energy he brought, new career high. He had like a brand new career high in like 3 straight games or 4 straight games. Like entering this game, what was it, 20? He had back-to-back 20-point games. Then he had 18. Then he erupts for 35. I know the Wizards are not a great defensive team, and they're kind of an undisciplined team when it comes to turning the ball over. I know they didn't have Kuzma. I know they didn't have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or Porzingis, but they didn't really look that disciplined. And the Knicks eventually started to hit their threes after Burks and Fournier were really frustrating to watch at the beginning of this game. We started a BL Fuego from beyond the arc. Quickly was unbelievable. He was efficient. He did a great job distributing the basketball, reading the floor. Again, his chemistry with Obi, his chemistry with everyone is amazing. He was knocking down his shots from the outside. He did a good job. I thought he did a pretty good job probing and just making the right read, and our defense really adjusted well throughout this game, and we just got into a better rhythm, and quickly had a really good game. I believe he had over 20 points. He had a near triple-double again, which was freaking amazing. He's starting to become one of the most underrated guards when it comes to rebounding the basketball. Sims did a good job on the boards, and Sims knocked down. He was 4-4 from the free throw line, which was freaking awesome to see because we know he was a 50% free throw shooter coming out of Texas. He struggled from the free throw line so far in his Knicks career, but he showed good touch. He showed poise. He took his time. He took a deep breath, but he did commit some stupid fouls. He got up in the air. He really struggled with Daniel Gafford, and nitpick, we couldn't really do much with Rui Hachimura in that first half. He had 18 points in the first half. Made good adjustments on him, though, because he only finished with 3 in the second half. So we did a good job adjusting defensively, especially when you take a look at Rui Hachimura was their leading scorer with 21, and then their second leading scorer, I believe, was Raul Neto with 13 or 14. You definitely need more contribution offensively, especially when you're not the best of consistent defensive team. But Jericho Sims was a little too jumpy, committed some stupid fouls, but that was awesome to see him knock down his free throws. We know he's a beast rebounding the ball. He had a moving screen. He's going to learn, though. He just has a great work ethic. He's all about basketball. I feel like there's not a lot of distractions with Jericho Sims. I feel he's just really in love with the game of basketball, or at least that's the vibe I get him. Seems like a down-to-earth guy. Just speaking about down-to-earth people, though, like Quickly and Obi, they're down-to-earth. Like, a lot of players on this team are down-to-earth and just very self-aware. But Fournier eventually started to catch fire from beyond the arc. Taj Gibson showing off his Hakeem Olajuwon footwork. Like, we know he's going to be the next Hakeem Olajuwon, according to Tibbs. But it was just really awesome to see the young guys play good basketball out there on the basketball floor. It absolutely became a blowout, though. We were up 26 at one point in this game. It really did go on to get ugly. You just love the ball movement. You just love how hard this team plays, like all these young players. But at the end of the day, I hope RJ's a speedy recovery. The New York Knicks were the better team. They adjusted better defensively, eventually started knocking down their shots. The Wizards were just undisciplined, 21 turnovers. But let me know down below your thoughts. I really appreciate your support, and peace out, y'all.